And welcome, race fans, ladies, gentlemen, children of all ages, to a wonderful Thursday night. And what a night it is, as we are here live with the boys of the Fired Up Esports League, known as Fuel, on one of the best nights to be here, Veterans Day, showing support for the veterans here, there, and across this great nation and anywhere in the world that they may be at. But again, it should be a fun one. With that being said, we are here tonight at Auto Club Speedway for the running of the Salute to Service 100. Again, a salute to the veterans out there. With that, a nice little hats off. Thank you, veterans, very much for everything that you do. We appreciate that. And as always, the gentlemen here racing for Fuel also want to give a shout out, and they do it in the best way they can, and that's by honor and everything. Little bit of a change in the commentator roster tonight is Jeremy Stanley. Mr. J Stan cannot be here tonight, but we have found a very adequate replacement for him, and might just be a little bit better too, in the form of the Stash himself, Mr. Kenny Haight. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Hey man, thanks for having me on tonight.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to actually see how these guys perform at Auto Club. It's first time watching them here, and first time really getting to watch these guys and what they do best.
And they do it and do it proud. And I tell you what, they're damn good at what they do. These guys have always put on a real good show. As you can see the live stream right now, these guys are already going 3 wide in practice. As practice is winding down, only a couple minutes left before these guys go to qualifying, but as you can see right now, Holt, Dirting, and Crownover really giving the fans out there a show tonight. So it is already starting. But with that, there's going to be a couple different changes here. You can already see a lot of the heads-up display showing the red, white, and blue. Very proud of the red, white, and blue, and everybody that has stood behind it and defended it to this day. We appreciate that. But there's also a special thing, Kenny, tonight that they are doing in honor. We had a special request about a song and video that was put together by one of the members of this league, and they are actually going to attempt a 3-wide parade lap. They're going to extend the start of this race, as normally they would get one to go coming out of the pits for their grid lap. They're actually going to extend it one additional lap to do a parade lap while this video plays, and it's a really good song too. So again, another tribute to the veterans out there. And speaking of veterans, we do have a number of veterans that are participating in tonight's race. Some of them that are not, but they are part of this league as well. Disclaimer, if we do not mention your name, we apologize. All that means is we did not get it in time, but it does not mean that we do not respect everything that you have done for this country to allow us to be here tonight. But some of those veterans are John Day is a veteran. Ron Holmesy Holmes is a Marine veteran, along with Jason D. Baker, also a veteran of the Marines. And we also have Joe Causey out there, an Army vets with us racing tonight. So, again, give appreciation to those gentlemen. Even if you talk to them in Discord or whatever it is, be sure you give them thanks. Be sure you wish them a happy Veterans Day. This is their day, as well as any veteran across the board. So, should be a fun one. Kenny, what do you think?
Man, I'm excited. I know these trucks are a bit of a handful to contain, and back like Auto Club, you got a long semi-banked corners, so to watch these trucks go in and out, I think it's going to be an absolute fantastic race, and I'm waiting to see how these guys perform.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. These drivers here, for the most part, throughout this season, we're going to exclude Martinsville, because Martinsville was that was a bad scenario, and I'm pretty sure about every driver would love to just ixnay Martinsville a little bit there. But for the most part, when these guys come to a track, and especially speedways, man, they always put on a hell of a show. Some of the best finishes have come at these speedways. So it should be really fun. These guys, they do know how to pilot these. It is an open setup series. So again, should be an excellent show tonight. Very fast track, lot of room. So expect a lot of 3-wide racing, much like what you saw during practice. As you can tell right now, drivers are hitting the track for qualifying. But there should be a lot of racing action all the way around. A lot of multi-groove racing. You're going to see a lot of drivers being able to hold that low line. Some of them are going to be those midline ringers, and some of those are going to be that petty line, Earnhardt line, whoever's line you want to call it, right up there towards the top. So should be a good one all the way around, Kenny.
Oh, without a doubt. Currently watching Josh Benoit as he takes his qualifying laps. I did not realize, however, that these trucks are already pulling, somewhere between 164 at their slowest, and then getting upwards of the 185, 186 mile an hour range. I didn't realize that they moved around a track like this that quick. So to watch these guys go 3 wide and, possibly even 4 wide, the track does look super wide. So, man, I'm at a loss of words. I just can't wait for race time.
Yeah, and like I said, the times that and speeds that you're talking about right now, a lot of that is not in the draft. So, I mean, the draft is going to play a factor in this one here just because of the size of this track. Again, based off the pre-race info here that we put up for the Nerd TV pre-race show presented by Martin Sports, this is a 2-mile track. So, lot of space, a lot of straightaways. Corners are more wide open than what you would find at other speedways. So again, it should be a fun one all the way around.
Absolutely. Speaking of Martin Sports, incredible feeling hats. I'm a huge hat collector and usually Fox Racing, but I ordered one through Martin Sports, and this hat is probably one of the most comfortable ones that I've had yet. Incredible work.
There you go. And talking about Martin Sports, that's a perfect time to segue in while we're watching these drivers finish up qualifying. We do want to give a shout out to the sponsors that we have, because without them, things would be a lot more difficult for the league. It'd be a lot more difficult for the broadcast team. And we like to pay homage to everybody that has helped us out to this point. And we're going to start right off with exactly what Kenny Haight was talking about, Martin Sports. So again, Martin Sports is a proud sponsor for the Fired Up Esports League. They are also the official apparel provider for Nerditudes and Nerd TV as well. You heard it from Kenny himself, and you'll hear it from anybody that has bought products from them. Jeremy Kors is one of the drivers that's out there with gloves. Clayton White, I do believe, is another one that has gloves. Jeremy Kors swears by these things, has seen Victory Lane already a number of times this season with them. And he will be the first to tell you he is not a gloves guy. He, before getting his hands inside a pair of Martin Sports gloves, he hated gloves. Now he doesn't race without them. So again, excellent products all the way around. That's apparel products, sim racing products. Go take a look and see what they have. They have an excellent product line. That is martinsports906.com. We also want to a shout out to Sticker Cabana. Again, the title sponsor for the Truck Series that you are getting ready to watch as qualifying is winding down. Excellent collection of stickers, all die-cut stickers. It would take me forever to even try to explain the amount of stickers that they have in the collection that they have. Best way to do it is go online and take a look and see exactly what they have to offer. We're talking thousands. Yes, that's 3 zeros at least after that number. But a lot of stickers, a lot of options that you can go with that. So go take a look at that. That's Sticker Cabana. We also want to thank Nature Med. Again, Nature Med is one of the leading dispensaries in the Tucson area. Again, medicate to educate. Or educate to medicate. Man, see, I am already messing it up. Educate to medicate. My bad. First time I've messed that one up. But again, it's a lot of us have known people in some way, shape, or form that are affected by some type of mental debilitation. One of the best ways is medicinal marijuana to do that, and we pay homage to anybody that does that. A lot of the veterans and everything else do partake as well. It helps with PTSD and anxiety, as well as just anybody out there in the world. Anything that make things easier for them, Nerditudes and Nerd TV are behind it 110%. Yes, math was not my strong suit either. But either way, go take a look at them. Again, one of the leading dispensaries in the Tucson area. That is Nature Med. And finally, Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is the audio provider and sponsor for Fired Up Esports League. Again, it's essentially a D-Box is what it is, but it does add a level of realism to any sim racing rig. With that, they also, you can get a level of realism out of that you just, you don't get anywhere else. You can feel rumble strips, you can feel gear shifts, you can feel everything when it comes to it. So take a look and see what they have. If you do order anything, be sure you use the promo code on the screen, Fired Up, for an additional 20% off your order. So again, that is Butt Kicker. Visit thebuttkicker.com/AFF equals 3. That is the official affiliate link for the Fired Up Esports League. And with that, Kenny, it is time for us to get off. Anthony Crownover, what's up, boys? Wish me luck. We wish you the best of luck, just like everybody else out there. Again, the chat channels are open as always. We do view those, and we do give shout outs as well. So be sure, if you want to give a shout out, let us know who your favorite driver is. Let us know who you're rooting for. By all means, let it go. But with that, Kenny and I are going to get these ugly mugs off the face, because we're not the ones you're here to see. You're here to see these drivers here that are lining up and gridding right now. So on that, this is going to bring an end to the pre-race show presented by Martin Sports, and we are going to go trackside. Going to be a good one tonight. So with that, pace car, or rather pace truck, is rolling off of the grid right now. These drivers are going to do a parade lap. With that, this is going to be an honor to our veterans out there, whether they're racing with us, watching with us, or wherever they are stationed around the world. So on that, we are going to take our moment of silence. We are going to play this. Enjoy. We will see you here in just a few minutes.
Certainly not ready for friends dying at their feet. Courage and bravery in their veins, fighting for freedom where terror reigns. Some carry weapons, some fly planes in the heat of the desert or the jungle rains, ready to face what they're trained to do, proudly representing the red, white, and blue. They're Uncle Sam's daughters, they're Uncle Sam's sons, defending Old Glory, sacrificing for everyone. Oh, it's an honor to meet them, to know who they are. America's heroes who carry scars. They shoulder the burden with memories and pain, protecting the rights our forefathers framed. They're Uncle Sam's daughters, they're Uncle Sam's sons, defending Old Glory, sacrificing for everyone. Sam's sons, defending Old Glory, sacrificing for everyone. They're Uncle Sam's daughters, yeah, Uncle Sam's sons, defending Old Glory, sacrificing for everyone.
And welcome back. Again, that is an excellent tribute to that to our veterans out there. That 3-wide salute. Admins did extend the parade lap to allow our drivers to show their thanks to the veterans out there. Pee Wee there on Facebook says, "Thank you for your service to make it safe for this to happen." Absolutely, we are 100% behind that. Thank you very much to every veteran out there for what they have done and what they have sacrificed. Again, should be an excellent show tonight. You see the pace lights are out, Kenny, so we're getting ready to go green here to really let these boys just have at it.
Oh, absolutely. With 16, 17 trucks on the field, these guys, racing is such a beautiful thing. You got 16, 17 drivers, even if you got 18, 25, even if you've got 8 on the track, it's a beautiful dance with each other that y'all have to do to make it through the corners and not just obliterate each other. So to be pushing it that hard and coming close to the very, very fine line of a breaking point and still coming out of a corner, it's just a fantastic thing to watch. And it gets me wild up every time.
And it does a lot of people as well. Now, apologies, we didn't get a chance to show you what the starting lineup and grid was because of the parade lap, but the parade lap was definitely more important. But Pace Truck is pulling in. You do see that 04 of Cody Porter is going to lead them to the green flag with Jeremy Coors to his outside. Clayton White on the inside, Oscar Jensen on the outside, your first 2 rows. Green flag does fly. These trucks are away. Clean start so far as we're going off into turn 1. Cody Porter jumps out to an early lead up to that high line right in front of Coors and then right back down again. So this racing is already getting good. It looks like a clean start up to this point, Kenny. Drivers are already starting to switch and flop different lines here. And I would expect to see this pretty much all race long, Kenny.
Oh, absolutely. With an open setup, you can work your truck in to run that one line, but overall you're looking for the best truck on all 3 lines as possible. And, just trying to find early what your truck's going to like, where the tire wear is going to be most efficient, what takes the least amount of fuel to get around the track while still running wide open. These guys, they're going to do a lot of searching for the first handful of laps, and I'm waiting to see these guys actually start doing a lot of working together and building up a draft with these trucks to get around there even faster yet.
Yeah, and as we see a pass for the lead, the 97 of Jeremy Coors, and we have an accident in the far back there. A lot of trucks going around. Looks like we have the 5 of George Oaks is involved in that one there, and that will bring out our first caution of this evening's race.
Yeah, so I'm taking a look back, look and see what happened. And it was just coming out of 2 and onto the backstretch. He come across the nose of, I believe that was J.D. Baker in the 78 truck. And let everything else unfold from there. Once you start to get turned, there's really not too much you can do about something like that.
Yeah, as we are watching it right now, a little bit of contact. Oh, yep, big time contact there between what looked like, I don't know what truck that was that came down. Looks like there was a little contact, though, into the 5 of George Oaks, and they just turned straight up. That might have been Baker that was in there. Baker might have been the one that, that would have been a little bit of J.D. Baker. So those 2 trucks come together there, and somebody on that high side definitely paid the ultimate price on that one. But either way,
Oscar Jensen.
Was it 27 of Jensen?
Yeah, he caught the unfortunate part, nowhere to go, already trapped on that high line.
And that's an unfortunate thing with that, especially seeing that come out of nowhere. He was blindsided on that one there. He was just running his line up at the wall and literally got T-boned by the 5 of Oaks. So again, had no idea that was even coming out of anywhere, but nonetheless, that does put us under our first caution of this evening. That again happened at lap 2, as trucks are now underway to the service of their pit crews, more so the ones that were involved in that incident. But right now, your current running order is scoring the 97 of Coors in that number 1 spot. Cody Porter is in second. Anthony Crownover is finding himself in third. Greg Holt is sitting in fourth position, and rounding out your top 5 right now is a 59 of Bradley Walters. J.D. Baker showing in sixth position. Connor Hazel in that number 2 is in seventh. Scott Martin, who is expecting a decent run tonight. I know that man has been putting in some practice here as well. He is currently scored in the 8th position. And then you have Jason D. Baker in that 9th position there. He's actually moving back up a little bit there. And then right now, scored in the 10th, rounding out your top 10, is the 99 of Brooks Dirting. So one of the big things here is we do not see Joseph Causey here tonight, who is he's been on a winning streak here as of late. He is not here for tonight's events, but we do have a couple multi-race winners that are currently up in the in the field tonight. So the question is, Kenny, are you thinking possibly a new first-time winner or possibly another repeat winner from already previously in the season?
I'm going to take the side of the underdog, and I'm going to say there's going to be a new winner tonight just because of, the shape of the track. It makes it anybody's game. Whoever, smooth operators are going to start coming through here, and I believe that's who's going to take it at the end.
Absolutely. Now, stranger things have happened. We ran 6 weeks before we actually got our first repeat winner. So your prediction is not out of the realm of possibility, so to speak. So it could definitely take place. But either way, right now the pace lights are off on that pace truck right now. These boys are lining it back up again being led by the 97 of Coors. Cody Porter, who has been on a rail and on a good run here over the last number of weeks as well, is going to line up to his outside, but they've got a lot of hungry drivers behind him, Kenny.
Oh, absolutely. Any race you come into, you are going to see some drivers that are going to be chomping at the bit just to get up front, lead a few laps, get that excitement. Man, I'm taking a look through the field, and I'm seeing a lot of really nice looking trucks. Not exactly the main topic of this, but Scott Martin, Josh Benoit, probably 2 of the best looking trucks I see on this track right now. Huge fan.
Yeah, and these drivers always come at it with excellent paint jobs as the pace truck is in. Waiting on that. There is that green flag. Green flag does fly. We are underway again for our first restart of the night. You see Coors drop way down on that apron, but it looks like the 04 of Porter is going to get an excellent run on that high side if he can make it stick. Right now, the 97 of Coors getting a lot of pressure from behind, or was there for the moment from the 1 of Crownover. And Porter right now getting a lot of pressure from the 3 of Greg Holt on that top side. So, again, drivers are really starting to, already starting to push the issue, but further back, it does look like they are trying to line up a little bit. So remember, this is an open setup league. A lot of these drivers are looking to see what their trucks are going to do on these long runs as far as tires and everything else. And in order to do that, we kind of got to line it up and try to stay clean and get some green flag laps in there, Kenny.
Absolutely. And with the difference in setups, some of these trucks, they might be built for the short run, looking for those 5, 10, 15 lap runs. And then, once if a caution were to come out again, it gives the tires a chance to cool down and, reset the truck, bring the field closer together. That could give them a huge advantage on a restart. Meanwhile, some of these other trucks, they could be looking for those long runs, the 20, 30, 40, even 50 lap runs, where their tires are going to be a little cool to start off and, slowly build their temperature back up. And that long run is whenever they will make their shoots forward hardcore.
Yeah, and we got a new leader now. We had actually 2 new leaders. The 04 of Porter had taken the lead over from Jeremy Coors. Coors had fallen back to 3rd place, but we have a new leader on top of that. The 3 of Greg Holt has taken the lead, and right now that puts Porter and Coors going side by side, duking it out for that number 2 spot with looks like the inevitable position going to the 04 of Porter. So these drivers already starting to give everything they have right now and putting on a damn good show up for that top spot. A little further back, we do have another battle for 4th right now is going to be between Bradley Walters and the one of Anthony Crownover. Those two have been going side by side for that fourth position. So, again, Kenny, the racing is already going good and strong. Drivers seem like they're trying to stay pretty much clean right now, just trying to get some green flag laps in.
Yep, absolutely. It's only lap 10 of 100, so these guys, they've got plenty of time to sit back, relax, and, think about a couple different options of how they want to proceed throughout the rest of the race, and then, maybe have something in mind whenever if a caution were to arise at, lap 23 or at lap 57 before the next one comes out. So just, plenty of time to think about what they want to do and, different options that they can take as the race progresses.
Yeah, and as it does progress, I mean, these trucks, their handling is going to change as they get more and more laps on them. And as we work towards the green flag pit stops, which has plagued a couple drivers this season already. So we will see how that is going to work out. It does look like Anthony Crownover has taken over sole custody of that fourth position right now with his teammate Connor Hazel in tow. Both of those Pro Rev Esports drivers now running fourth and fifth, so both of them up in the top 5, looking to be a good showing for those two as well. But that battle for that top 3 spot right now is still very, very active, as Greg Holt is still leading that battle and leading that charge. And again, the 97 of Coors and the 04 of Porter side by side, as they have been now for about 2.5 laps. So these drivers really giving everything they have, but as they're battling, again, the 1 of Crownover and the 2 of Hazel are closing in, about to make this 3-car battle a 5-car battle, Kenny.
Yeah, and I was just watching as Cody Porter took a look on the inside and actually executed. He come out of Greg Holt there for a short moment. So, he could be setting up for something later on down the race. See how the truck's going to handle down low, running up high with them. But they're not getting over aggressive with it yet. They're just kind of relaxing, kind of finding out grooves. Nobody's really pushing the issue yet, and it's making me real anxious to see how this ends out.
Yeah, and that's the trick, is not being over aggressive at this the early stages of this race here, and these drivers are not. Again, that 5-car breakaway there is now starting to spread out as a battle for the lead between Coors and Holt. Those two have kind of put about 3 truck length distance in between them and third place. You go a little further back from the top 5, you see another pack being led by Jason D. Baker in that 85, as he's trying to lead a charge to catch these top 5 to make it more than a 5-car pack. And in tow, he's got the 59 of Bradley Walters, the 99 of Brooks Dirting, the 46 of Josh Benoit, and that 67 machine of Scott Martin as well. I gotta wonder, Kenny, that some of these drivers, as hard as what it appears some of these drivers are racing, if some of these other ones are not just biding their time and just saving their stuff, just waiting to reel them back in.
One of the things that I was always horrible at, and still am when it comes to asphalt racing, is tire saving. Some of these guys from Bradley Walters on back through, at least Scott Martin and even Jeff Converse, they're sitting pretty right now. They're not too far back from anybody, but they've got enough of a gap that if something were to go wrong with the front 3 and 5 trucks, they've got plenty of time to react to it and still, be set for late run pit stops with their tire wear and things like that.
Yeah, and we have seen pit strategy work in the past here at the Fired Up Esports League. And if you're like certain other ones, I won't mention any names, but Josh Benoit, sometimes pit strategy has not been on his side, unfortunately. But he learns from that. I can guarantee you right now he has his calculator and a spare calculator, so fuel mileage should not be an issue for that man tonight. If it is, he is trying entirely way too hard not to get the right fuel mileage. But with that being said, back up front there, as we were kind of going through the field with the cameras, that 5-car pack is a gaggle right now. We got trucks shifting every which way. You got Greg Holt in that 3 on the top side with Porter in tow, but leading that inside lane is the 1 of Anthony Crownover. So one of his best, strongest starts to a race this season, as he is looking to take the lead on the inside of Holton. He's got the 97 of Coors in tow, and these guys are 2 by 2 and almost by 2 as the 85 of Jason D. Baker is trying to work his way back up there. So again, these top 5, Kenny, are they're laying everything out there right now. But like you said, they're not getting super, super aggressive.
Yep, and all these drivers are aware, like I said earlier, all the time that they've got. So this is like an ultimate time to figure out, one, who you can work with, and two, it'll always come back to that setup. How is your truck set up? Are you going to be good in the short game? Are you going to be good in the long game? How is your tires going to wear? It's a lot to think about all at one time when you're building for a race like this. And, we see the one truck of Anthony Crownover tuck in behind Greg Holt, and he still, got the hint of looking to the inside. But again, nothing over aggressive, just running the truck, see where it likes it. How's it going to do?
And that's exactly what a lot of these drivers are doing. Again, they're wanting to know their long run, feel of this truck, and the only way they're going to do that is by knocking off laps, and that's exactly what they're doing. You were talking about Crownover. We were actually on board with Crownover on that one, and he's looking down low, but he's not really pressuring it. If it doesn't feel right, he just kind of lets it go. But we are under our second caution of the night. As a caution does fly, we are going to try to find out exactly where that took place. So under our second caution of the evening, as we are trying to locate that, let's just hope it wasn't a NASCAR caution for debris on the track.
The rate we're looking, that's what it might be, Dustin. I can't find anything obvious as to what happened.
I am not either.
Interesting.
Oh, all right. So that's what it was. So it's unfortunately enough, we're going to go on board with one of our Marine veterans, Mr. Ron Holmes. Looks like him and the 59 of Walters kind of tangoed together a little bit, going down the front stretch. As you see, he's going to have a run on that inside. He's going to take it down low. He's going to kind of, looks like it might have been a little wobble up, and the 59 might have had a little wobble down. Just looked like two trucks come together going through those bumps down the front stretch. And it looks like Ron Holmes is going to get the blunt of that one there, as his truck is battered and beat up pretty good on that one. Unfortunate break for the 33 of Ron Holmes.
Yeah, it sure is. Taking damage in these trucks, it's pretty crucial. On dirt, it affects with our aero, but these trucks, even the slightest hit to the wall is enough to really mess up the whole truck, the setups and everything else. How they handle even through a corner, just a little bit of right front damage. Even, it's not thought of very much, but the rear spoiler plays a huge part in these trucks, being so light in the back. That's where all of their downforce comes from, and keeping the back of that truck nice and stable through the corner. So even just a little bit of spoiler damage, that's enough to ruin a night, at least for the first 15 laps, until you can get either A, another caution, or B, a chance to come down pit road under green and get some kind of fix put on it.
Yeah, and that is very true when it comes to these, is talking about coming down pit road and getting some kind of fix put on it. You do see that these drivers did hit pit road and come to the service of their pit crews on that. Now, again, we want to mention tires. There are 5 sets of tires. Now, let me explain that, as seeing as we just went through pit stops. That is 5 sets, including the tires that they initially started on. So that's 1 set on the truck, 4 in the pits, as all these drivers have for tonight's event. So they've got to be real smart about when they use it and how they use it. But we had talked about pit strategy as well, Kenny. These drivers roughly, probably somewhere between the 36 to 40 lap range on a total fuel run. Now, granted, that is just an estimated amount. We have seen drivers stretch that fuel even further. There are tricks that the drivers can do in their cockpits to stretch that fuel out a little bit more, whether it's altering their run, whether it's clutching it, you name it, backing that corner up a little bit. So that is just an estimated round. So if it comes to that point for green flag pit stops, that is how we estimate and expect when these drivers could be coming down pit road. But a lot of these drivers did look like they come down pit road and did get their first set of tires, Kenny, leaving them with 3 more in the pits.
And some of these drivers at the back, NASCAR has seen it time and time again. Even drivers just way in the back, early race, they could be just saving their tires as long as possible, waiting for the right moment. Everything here is a pretty well calculated decision. Taking tires late in the race for that late run come up. It's been done before, and honestly, I'd love to see another one come through today.
Absolutely. And it very well could be. That's what we had stated earlier in the broadcast just laps ago, was the possibility of some of these drivers saving their fuel or their tires, just making it to the end of the race, which is a very good possibility. But with that, the pace lights are out on that pace truck. We'll be diving down. The 3 of Holt will be leading Anthony Crownover, Cody Porter, Jeremy Coors, Connor Hazel, and company to the green flag as they come to the start-finish line. Green flag does fly. We are back underway for the running of the Salute to Service 100. So again, we just come back from our second caution in about 20 laps, so not too bad. Again, Kenny, though, a lot of these restarts are very tricky, especially when I almost find it harder at some of these big tracks on the restarts, because you, in the back of your mind, know you have room because of the size of the track, and that tends to bite you more than anything else.
Absolutely. Sitting there thinking you have all that distance between you and the guy behind you, that can close up really quickly, especially if you either miss a shift or spin the tires a little too much. I was actually surprised to see Anthony Crownover. He took that restart incredibly well, even though we see him still in the second position. He was door-to-door with our lead truck for the longest time, all the way up through, I think, just coming out of 2 when he finally tucked in. And we see the 97 of Jeremy Coors running that inside line, looking to take that second place position back.
Yeah, he's been right there, but the 1 of Crownover is we're on board with Jeremy Coors right now, getting that excellent run coming off the corner, but that low line entry is so good. As you see Jeremy Coors biting, he is sawing that wheel, very loose race truck as he was going through 3 and 4, and you see the run that the 3 of Holt and the 1 of Crownover get coming off that corner. So right now, Jeremy Coors having a loose race truck, having his hands full, but still fast and still keeping it up right there in that top 5.
Coming off of older tires even to a brand new set, you kind of get into a groove as your tires start to wear, and it slows you down those couple of tenths per lap. Once you get these new set of tires, they're cool, they're not warmed up by any means, and you just got used to running on less grip. So trying to find where you can run that truck again at full power and not overdo it, it can be tricky depending on, the driver, the driving style, and especially the amount of experience. A seasoned guy, he'll know right where he can come back to it. But some of these newer drivers, they might not understand it, and I myself are one of them.
And it's very true. I mean, you do, and that's what makes green flag pit stops even more challenging as well, is because you get accustomed to the lines you have to run on worn tires, and then when you come in and get 4 fresh Goodyear sneakers, and I mean, it's almost like you're Superman when you're going out there and going through the corners, because that baby just grips all over the place. So it throws a whole new level of difficulty into the situation there. So, but I mean, these drivers, this is what they do, and this is why they do it the best that they are. We do have a new driver up in the top 5. It had been Holt, Coors, Crownover, Porter, and Hazel. Hazel has fallen back to 6th, and Josh Benoit has taken over that 5th position. That is the first time since the start of the race that he has been in the top 5. So again, Benoit making a move and truck towards the front, now setting his sights and targets on the 04 of Cody Porter. So again, a lot of moving and a lot of shaking here. We do see a number of drivers that are slowly starting to make their way back up. So Kenny, definitely could be one of those that you're now starting to see these drivers starting to make their move slowly towards the front. Maybe some of those that were kind of saving and being a little bit more held back a little bit towards the start of that race, now starting to slowly move forward.
Yep, and as we see, the first 2-3 cars are running like a low line. 4th, 5th, and 6th are all just kind of running a midline through the corners, trying to pick up a little bit of momentum as they come down, either of the stretches. As Josh Benoit gets a little bit of competition from Connor Hazel, who's really looking to take that 5th position back.
Yeah, and Hazel having a very strong run tonight as well. He's trying to get back up in the top 5 there with his Pro Rev teammate of Anthony Crownover, who is currently running in the 3rd position, battling the 97 of Jeremy Coors and the 04 on the backside of Cody Porter's. He's getting a lot of pressure there, but it does look like Benoit will take back that 5th position. But mark our words, that number 2 truck of Connor Hazel is not done yet. He will try to hunt him down for sure. A lot of these drivers, really headhunt right now, just trying to find out where their truck is fast. You seen right there as we were on board with Connor Hazel, the 04 of Porter was way down by that white line going down the backstretch. So again, a lot of moving around as now you see the 04 of Porter. You see Benoit in that 46 goes low, trying to get it. So again, a lot of moving, a lot of shaking all the way around. But this group here, now the top 6 have pulled away from the rest of the field. So you got a 6 truck breakaway now by probably about 10 car truck lengths, because the next one back, as you're looking at him, is going to be the 99 of Brooks Dirting running in that 7th position, Kenny.
Call me a little bit of number bias, taking us back to the front. It's a number you don't see run on very many cars or trucks or just about any kind of vehicle that you can put on a racetrack. The 46 of Josh Benoit, I'm really expecting to see him come up with at least a top 5 finish tonight, if not take a podium.
Now, you wouldn't be partial to that because you wouldn't happen to know somebody else who might be a little bit more partial to that 46 now, would you?
Yeah, I may or may not know a guy that's ran it, on an actual dirt track, and then he may or may not have replicated his car to run iRacing with it and, just about any other car that he's ever ran. But, yeah, it is what it is.
Now, for you folks out there that are not aware, we are definitely talking about the stash himself here, Mr. Kenny Haight. That is also his number, but he is not wrong. The 46 is not a number you typically see out there a lot of times. But if there was a track that Benoit was going to have a redemption run at, so to speak, on some of his tire calculations and his fuel calculations, I have a feeling that this is probably the best place to start it right now. Being Auto Club, as it is a very fast track. But talking about Benoit again, top 5 are now starting to break away a little bit, not by much. So Connor Hazel still in 6th, but Brooks Dirting is working his way up to the back bumper of the truck, that number 2 truck of Hazel, as he's starting to close it in a little bit. Now, again, Brooks Dirting is a season winner already this season, as is Benoit, as is Jeremy Coors and Greg Holt. All those drivers there are the drivers in the top 7 that are your previous race winners this season, and they are definitely picking up where they have left off in some of those other ones. But you do have drivers that are moving forward. We haven't had a chance to talk about the 92 of Jeff Converse. Now, Kenny, I know that you're new to the Fired Up Esports League here, and you're new to the drivers and numbers. Jeff Converse is a driver that when he's not in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that gentleman will let you know. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. He usually has very consistent, very strong finishes. So it is no surprise that he has been in the right place at the right times here, and is running in the 8th position right now. Very strong. He is getting some pressure from behind from that 06 of Clayton White, though. White having an excellent run tonight as well, and for good reason, because he might not want to hit a miscue whatsoever, because that 67 of Scott Martin we mentioned in the pre-race show, who was looking to have a good run tonight, is running in that 10th position. So another excellent run there. And as you can look from the roof cam of that beautiful looking 67 machine, Scott Martin can see every single truck ahead of him. So they're not pulling away or getting very far at all. He's keeping them just enough in sight, in striking distance is what he needs, Kenny.
You know, I had the pleasure of sitting with Scott Martin over the last few days and, you know, watching him turn some laps in all sorts of different racing. I was watching him in trucks, and I believe I saw him in a couple of different cars over the couple of days. So he's been putting in some work and, you know, hanging out in that top 10, challenging for the 9th position now. You know, I'm looking for some big things to come out of him tonight, and I'm thinking they're going to come a little later towards the end of the race. I'd say somewhere between 15 and 20 laps to go. As long as he can keep his nose clean, he's got a solid truck, and I'm looking for a big run coming.
Yeah, and it very well could happen. I agree, as long as he can keep his truck clean, just like a lot of these drivers. They will. I can see great things happening tonight. Should be a damn good finish tonight. Is right now you're watching the 67 of Scott Martin try to make that pass, taking that slider line-esque on the inside, but you see that crossover by Clayton White to put the nose back on the inside. That is about as dirt racing as you're going to get it, besides actually sliding these trucks, taking the quote-unquote slider line to get it. But Scott Martin does take that position back, does clear him, now has about 2 truck length difference in between him and Scott Martin, so he has taken over that 9th position, now working towards 8th place of Jeff Converse. He's going to have his hands full with Converse. Converse knows how to run these tracks, and he's very clean. He is a very clean driver, and he is very consistent, which, especially at these tracks, and being a dirt racer and running dirt is, as far as leagues, Kenny, you know that consistency is key. You can be not the fastest driver, but if you are consistent, you are a threat.
Consistency is absolutely huge. You know, coming from a dirt racing background, like you said myself, the very first time that I actually stepped in a car, you know, my whole first season, that's all my father ever preached to me was consistency, consistency, consistency. Just turn me some consistent laps. We can build the car around that. You know, where we finish is where we finish, and we can learn from it. Over the course of my first season, I racked up, I'm pretty sure about half the season, I racked up a 6th place finish. And, you know, for a first timer in a car like that, I ended up taking a 6th place championship. So, you know, consistency, it'll pay. Especially in a long run, consistency will pay huge.
Yes, it will. And while you were talking about consistency, that 46 of Benoit had one hell of a run coming down the backstretch and does take over that 3rd position, now working on trying to take 2nd from Greg Holt, who had just lost the lead to the one of Crownover. Crownover, seeing that run that the 46 was having, hopped down, got a little draft help, so new leader up front in that number 1 machine of Anthony Crownover. I tell you what, if he does good tonight, we did wish him the best of luck, so we'll see how that payout works. But right now, he is leading your field and doing it with style. Very fast truck underneath Crownover right now in that number 1 Chevy, but he has got a lot of pressure from behind from that 46 of Benoit. Benoit trying to close the gap on it. As you see a little wibble wobble there, trying to break the draft up a little bit, swapping lines. So again, we are now working almost lap 39 of 100, so we're only about 11 laps away from halfway. These drivers now are trying to put themselves in position where they need to be, because they know at this rate green flag pit stops are going to be coming up. They want to put themselves in position so that they don't lose any time in the pits, so that way they put themselves in position there at the end to try to get that dub.
And this is just what I was talking about earlier with, you know, short run trucks and long run trucks. Right now, those that are set up for a long run, they are shining pretty bright. You know, our top 5, 6 trucks, you know, they're all within the same little group. And then we've got a larger gap between Brooks Dirting in the 99 truck back to the 92 of Jeff Converse. And then looking even farther back yet, we've got Richard Maliugani in the 22 truck. along with Clayton White and Scott Martin behind them in their own little group. These green flag pit stops, they're going to shake a lot of things up if we don't have a caution soon.
Yeah, they can. It's as a lot of drivers can be very much like me. I am about as inconsistent with pit stops and entry and exit as most politicians are at remembering what the hell they said. I mean, it is horrible. And I lose more time in the pits when I do race than anywhere else. So it can be. A lot of drivers can lose time up in there, but they can also make a lot of time up as well. So only time will tell as we, like I said, we're probably about 10 laps away from about 15 laps away from possible our first attempt at green flag pit stops, Kenny.
Yeah, man, you and me both, we're both pretty inconsistent, at least with pit stops under green. Our last race, or our very first race on asphalt, I tried something new. I went in about 2 laps sooner than everybody else, and that absolutely bit me, and I lost so much time at a track like Daytona, trying to keep the draft. I ended up putting myself on an island just to fall back from the lead group. And these, even at an auto club, the track size, it makes a huge difference in what you do. Looking at the 04 truck running almost side by side with the 46 of Josh Benoit and the 1 of Cody Porter, we're going to see a lot of crossovers and quote unquote sliders from these guys, as they all battle for positions 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, and they have been. Again, Crownover still leading the way there. This is probably as stout as I have seen Anthony Crownover this season. Now, mind you, we did miss last week. Nerditudes and Nerd TV had to get a couple things put together and fixed on the backside, and based on the broadcast you're watching, that work has paid off. But not saying that Crownover runs poorly, because he doesn't. But I mean, as far as how strong he's come on and how quick in tonight's race, this is probably the strongest run this early on that we have seen, that number 1 truck being out front like that. So he's definitely out there trying to prove something. He wants to try to get that victory. He has been close a number of times and either found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time or just come up short trying to make a pass. So he's definitely there. Cody Porter, again, has been on a rail these past few weeks, and we had already talked about the 46 of Benoit trying to make up for his fuel calculations. And no, Josh, I am not going to let you ever live that down, so you might just want to get used to it. The 3 of Greg Holt sitting in 4th, Connor Hazel in 5th. Now, you've seen Jeremy Coors, who had been up there battling for the lead, has now dropped back to that 6th position and is now coming under fire from the 99 of Brooks Dirting. So I would definitely say that based off the way it's running, Jeremy Coors is definitely looking towards pit lane side as soon as possible to try to come to the attention of his crew, try to get some new tires on that truck to try to get backed up there in contention, Kenny.
Now, one unfortunate thing that we missed was Connor Hazel. He had picked up a massive run off of turn 2 and down the backstretch, and he was able to come around Coors to take the position. And it looks like the 99 truck of Brooks Dirting also managed to get himself a nice little run and eventually make his way around Coors as well. So, yeah, like you said, we're looking to see things start shaking up, and tires are definitely playing a huge factor within these trucks right now.
Oh, definitely. They are definitely playing a huge factor. Now, the biggest thing, though, is looking at all the top 7 here as we're looking on board with Coors off the roof cam, is a lot of these drivers, they are still very, very close. Now, going further back, Jeff Converse is right back there. His next competition is going to be the 22 of Matt Lagani, and there's still probably about 5 car lengths between him and the 06 of Clayton White. The next driver just outside the top 10 and 11th is all the way back there, that 67 of Scott Martin. So, again, we are coming towards the tail end of this fuel run. This is the longest green flag run that we're coming up to as we are working towards possibly looking at green flag pit stops as well. So a lot of the drivers further back from Scott Martin in 11th, Tim Henderson in 12th, George Oakes in 13th. J.D. Baker right on his backside. Jason D. Baker right on his backside in that 85 in 14th and 15th. These drivers have kind of spaced out a little bit, but I would definitely be led to believe that they are going to be looking for, the attention to their pit crew here in a number of laps. Just by the way that the times have fallen off, they're looking for it. And like you had said, Kenny, some of these setups could be short run setups. Some drivers do set it up for short run, which is not a bad thing. Those short run setups, if there's a late race caution with only about 15 laps to go, those short run setups like that, those are the ones that are going to shine. So sometimes as a driver or a crew chief, you got to take a gamble, hoping that there might be a late race caution to where that's going to put you exactly where you need to be. Some drivers take the approach of doing a long race setup, and I would be led to believe that the top 7 that we're watching right now are definitely among those that have a longer race setup. Downside to that is if there's a late race caution, about 15 laps to go, their trucks take a little bit longer to get in and get racy as compared to the short run setups, Kenny.
And then taking into account, whether you're deciding to build that long run setup or that short run setup, it comes down to knowing who you race with every week, the tracks that you're running at, okay, he might be strong on a short track, he's not so strong on a long track. How often do we have cautions here? There's a lot that can go into it, and knowing who you're racing against and how they perform at tracks that you're going to be at, it can help you determine whether you want to build that long or short run setup. And it could pay huge dividends. Now, some of these guys, maybe they're not strong at Auto Club, but they're holding together tonight. So it could also turn around and bite you later on.
It very well could. As we were talking about pit strategy there, the one of Anthony Crownover lost not 1 but 2 positions, falling back to 3rd. He relinquished the lead to the 04 of Cody Porter, and the 46 of Benoit followed suit, and now Cody Porter has a mirror full of the 46 of Josh Benoit. These two drivers starting to stretch it out just a little bit over the group of drivers being led now by the 3 of Greg Holt. As you see the 1 of Crownover and teammate Connor Hazel up on that high side, but they are going to get a heck of a run coming off here. Has to pull low, so that's going to kill that run. As Greg Holt slid right up in front of Anthony Crownover on that one. Unfortunately enough, that is a run killer when it comes that close. So Connor Hazel is going to take over that position in 4th, trying to clear the 3 of Holt, and Crownover is going to fall all the way back to 6th, losing 2 positions in that exchange.
And as we're coming around to lap 52, I'm starting to really question how much fuel do these guys really have left in the tank. I was expecting probably 3-4 laps ago that they would have started making their way down pit road, but we're still green, we're still racing. All of the top 6 drivers are still out on the track, and like I said, I'm really curious to see how much they have left in the tank and how far they're really willing to stretch it out.
Well, I can tell you, based on past experiences, these drivers are willing to stretch it out as far as they can. As we have a battle for the lead right now as the 46 of Benoit puts his truck on the inside of the 04 of Porter. These two duking it out side by side into the corner. You see the amount of ground that is gained by the 04 of Porter on that high side doesn't have to roll out near as much as the 46 of Benoit does. That is going to secure that top spot for that sim racing development driver there of Cody Porter in that number 1 spot. But again, you just give it a lap or so. The 46 of Benoit is going to try to set it up again. A lot of these drivers just testing the water on exactly what's working, what's not working, and not only the water in the track and what's working for them on the track, but also they're testing the other drivers around them. What moves are they going to make? What cuts are they going to make? If I go here, how's that going to affect where they're going? So again, there's still a lot of moving and shaking, a lot of calculated moves and a lot of calculated passes, just trying to prep themselves for that big money lap, being at lap 100.
You know, I was watching the 04 truck of Cody Porter over the last handful of laps, and I noticed he was taking an interesting approach coming out of 2, especially down the backstretch. Before I even get to that, it looks like the 46 truck, Josh Benoit, he's already going to slow down and make his way down pit road, and this might just be the beginning of our green flag pit stops.
And it very well might. He is the first of the drivers to make their way down pit road. He is followed by the 22 of Rich Malagani, also in pit. So these will be your first 2 drivers to make their official green flag pit stop. Now, that is not uncommon. We have seen Josh Benoit come in the pits, usually among some of the earliest to come to the attention of their crew. So with this one here, it's he possibly could stretch that if done right. We have 44 laps left, depending on how he saves. Possibly could stretch that fuel run on a 1-stop. He's been known to really stretch it out before, but a lot of these other drivers are staying out a lot longer as well. So I can definitely see a lot of these drivers trying to 1-stop this and be done with it.
Like I was saying earlier, the 04 of Cody Porter, he took an interesting approach to the backstretch. He would come out of 2 running his line, but then he would come down towards the white line, about halfway down the backstretch, and come back up for like a higher mid-entry through 3 and 4. And I couldn't figure out what it was until I noticed where Josh Benoit was behind him. He would take that approach when Josh Benoit was within easy striking distance of a big run through 3 and 4. And he was actually killing that draft to keep Benoit right behind him.
Yeah, so we had talked about draft does play a factor in this at this track as well, being a 2-mile track, a little bit open. It doesn't play as much of a factor as, say, some of your super speedways or plate tracks such as Daytona, Talladega, or iRacing, but it does play a factor nonetheless with that. But I mean, what we had stated before, Kenny, was these drivers are testing out not only the track but the other drivers. So, I mean, it's not uncommon for a driver already to be playing defense early on now to see if something is going to work, as opposed to wait until later on in the race during that final lap, that money lap, and find out, oh shit, that didn't work at all. I probably should have tested that sooner. So it's definitely not uncommon to see drivers do that, as it does look like our leader, the 04 of Cody Porter, is going to come down pit road to the attention of his crew. So your leader is peeling off. That is going to give the lead to the 99 of Brooks Dirting, is going to take over the lead with Jeremy Coors in the 97, just a little further back in second. Jeff Converse right now showing in third. So again, green flag pit stops, you're going to see the running order cycle and change nonstop until the green flag pit stops have completed their full cycle, meaning the last truck has made their green flag pit stop. Once they rejoin the race, the racing surface again in the racing groove, that is when your running order will be accurate after the conclusion of the green flag pit stops.
Now, I'm not 100% sure, but Cody Porter may have received a pit entering penalty coming in just a little too hot. I was trying to track his speed as he was coming in, but from the angle I had, I'm not sure if he made the speed limit in time, but I do see him being held back, so it does appear that he got that penalty.
And that is an unfortunate break. This is what we were talking about, though. I mean, sometimes green flag pit stops can be your friends. Sometimes, man, they can be your worst enemy through and through, worse than a hemorrhoid sometimes. And it's an unfortunate thing because, I mean, Cody Porter had a rocket ship of a truck, and this holding penalty is just going to kill him, especially if it stays green the way that it does. He could potentially go a number of laps down on that. It looks like he stalled it coming out of the pits there. So again, just adding insult to injury. Unfortunate break for this kid. Again, is he had such a fast truck. So we'll see. He's still got time, still got laps to try to rebound from it. And if anybody can, he's definitely a driver that can rebound. We do have our current leader and current second place runner, that's Brooks Durding and Jeremy Coors respectively, coming in for their green flag pit stop. Now this should, and I say should, complete the cycle of green flag pit stops for today's race. And that should, by default, give the lead to the 46 of Josh Benoit as he now passes Durding and Coors in there. And it looks like Clayton White, that will give Clayton White second place running right now. Anthony Crownover looking like he's going to sit third. Greg Holt in fourth. And depending on where they rejoin, it looks like Durding possibly gonna hold. Nope, because here comes Rich Malagani right now at the full head of steam. Brooks Durding could still hold that top five. Malagani looking like he's going to be sixth. And Coors looking like he's going to sit about eighth after Connor Hazel goes by him, depending on how quick he can get up to speed here. So, again, green flag pit stops, man, they move and shake everything up. And right now, the biggest shaker on that one is that that young man and the 04, Mr. Cody Porter, definitely took a hit on that one and is definitely looking to try to make some ground up. Because if this thing stays green the whole way, that is not going to help him. So he has to race to try to get that lap back the hard way. The unfortunate thing, Kenny, is the more he does that and the more he races traffic, the more he's going to burn his stuff up.
Absolutely. And the best thing that could happen to Cody Porter right this moment would be a caution within the very, very near future. That would give him the lucky dog pass. I'm pretty sure that's how this league operates. I'm not sure.
You are correct.
Awesome. So, yeah, that would give Cody Porter not only his lap back, but that would bunch the field back up, and he can slowly start making his way through the field and trying to recover as much as he possibly can by the end of this race.
Yeah, and that's exactly what what would help out. But either way, he can't chance that. We have had a number of races here at the Fired Up Esports League go a couple cautions early at the start of the race and then go green all the way to the end without any issue. So he can't leave that up to chance, which is why you're seeing him run and race as hard as what he is right now. Even being a lap down, as you see, he's trying to put pressure on the one of Anthony Crownover, who is running second right now. But even after he gets by that, he still has to chase down the 46 of Benoit, who's currently coming off of turn 2. So these drivers here already stretched out. Benoit has an excellent lead there going in. And those drivers are just now going into turn 3 as he's making his exit coming off of turn 4 right now. So Porter's got a lot of ground he has to make up, and definitely wanting to try to get by Crownover to try to do that, the old-fashioned way, so to speak. Because as it sits right now, we only have 35 laps left in this event before we crown a winner for the Salute to Service 100, Kenny.
I was taking a look throughout the entire field, and a caution at this rate could be very, very slim. Most of the trucks are spread out. The only thing I can foresee is it would have to be a two-man truck battle, like we're seeing right now with Anthony Crownover and Greg Holt in that 3 truck. Something along those lines where they get just a little overconfident in a corner and spin either each other or, a single truck getting into the wall. It's going to be very difficult for a caution, so he's got a lot of ground to make up just to even get his lap back, let alone try to salvage as much as he can.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing right now is with everybody spaced out the way they are, like you said, a caution is slim. And even though he has gotten by the one of Anthony Crownover, who is currently running in your number 2 position, he's got a lot of ground to make up to even catch Benoit, which means if he is able to do that, and I'm not saying that he's not able to do that, but if he can do that, the question would then be, how much of his stuff is he going to use up just trying to get to Benoit? And then, mind you, that is just to get a lap back. He would still have to go completely around the track again just to start making passes for position.
Lucky enough, he was able to stretch the tires and fuel that he had to, I think, about lap 57-ish. So he can afford to run it really hard, but if we stay green for the rest of this race, it's gonna be really extremely difficult. His tires will not have the same grip. He is gonna lose a lot of speed, and I'm willing to bet he will be pushing it on fuel by the end of this race.
Most definitely, because he is not holding back right now. Saving fuel is not even on his radar at this point in time. But right now, we've got an excellent race going on for that fourth position. As Jeremy Coors is holding that fourth position, getting a lot of pressure from behind from the 99 of Durding and the 22 of Malagani. So again, those drivers definitely giving everything. Now the next person back behind them is going to be the 92 of Converse. Now remember I had said, as long as Converse is in the right place at the right time, the man is a consistent driver, and he's been consistently right around that 6th to 7th place, and that's right where he's at. He's been saving his stuff, conserving it, staying clean, and one of the cleaner trucks out there. I don't think there is a scrape anywhere on that truck, and that's exactly what you want at this point in time. So again, the 92 of Converse running good. Connor Hazel, who had been up in the top 5 most of this event, has cycled through after green flag pit stops and has fallen back to 8th. Does look like from the right side damage there, might have gotten into the wall at some point in time, which is an unfortunate thing. But again, still running in a solid top 10 as we are sitting here getting ready to push about 30 laps to go. Scott Martin making a pass on the inside of Jason D. Baker for the 9th position. So Scott Martin, kick him up and move him up the boards there to the 9th position. Again, he has been in the top 10 solidly for most of the night. And that makes Jason D. Baker fall back to the 10th position, but again, still in the top 10. Baker been running a solid race this entire night as well. So all those drivers solidly in the top 10 and running a damn good race tonight, Kenny.
Taking a look at standings, all the way back through 12th place are on the lead lap. 13th is where you start to see, our trucks a lap down, starting off with Tim Henderson, and then moving back to 14th, you've got Cody Porter, 15th, Clayton White in the 06, and 16th of J.D. Baker in the 78 truck. All those trucks are one lap down. Just out of these guys, I have seen an impressive run. These trucks, like I mentioned at the beginning of the race, they can be extremely difficult to handle, and at such a fast track like this, anything is up for debate. And only seeing I believe 2 cautions at the beginning, these guys have put on one hell of a show.
Yeah, they definitely have. Now, as we're looking here, that space that the 46 of Benoit had between him and second place runner Anthony Crownover has shrank. So, and right in front of Crownover, as we're watching right off of his roof cam right now, one of the things to keep in mind is that 04 of Cody Porter is currently a lap down, but still running. He is now your first car on the lead lap after passing Tim Henderson. My question is, and this has me worried, it really does, because of his track record of fuel calculations, they're catching him fast. I'm wondering if he is saving. Remember, he was one of the first ones to hit pit road for their green flag pit stop. I'm kind of wondering if he's got enough to make it to the end, as it looks like as it sits right now, knock on wood, that it has the potential of going green flag to the end, and that is just in 27 short laps, as we are working lap 73 of 100 right now. So that's got me kind of questioning a little bit about that 46 truck and their possible fuel predicament there, Kenny.
So what's going through my head right now, Josh put himself in, I want to say, a beautifully dangerous spot. Being one of the first trucks to come down pit road, that always leads to the question, will he have enough fuel to make it through the end? But, being that he's out in first place and the large gap that he had and letting it shrink the way that it is, you got to think these guys behind him are running as hard as they can to catch back up, hoping that he is, not going to make it, or he's going to have to save longer than he expects. But while he can do his saving early on, as these guys are trying to catch him, that'll allow him for a late race, just absolute hammer down and hold off what he's got. So he can let this gap shrink a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more. And it's only going to it could only benefit him more towards the end of the race rather than the right now.
And you are 100% correct on that one there. I mean, as he has had no competition up there after the conclusion of green flag pit stops, he very well could be saving not only fuel, but his tires as well, as the rest of these drivers are really pushing it to try to catch back up to him. And by the time they catch it, they're probably going to catch him probably about another 2 to 3 laps. That's going to put you at almost, right about 20 to go left in this race. So, I mean, if he plays his cards right, if it does go green flag to the end, he very well possibly could have put himself in a very, very good position. You see that 04 truck back there of Cody Porter. That thing was yawed out pretty wild there going through that corner. So you can definitely tell that they are pushing it as well, trying to make up as much ground as possible, Kenny.
And the other beautiful thing about Josh being where he is, he knows he's got 2 trucks behind him, but he knows only one of those trucks is really in contention for that position. So he can let the 04 by of Cody Porter go, just as easy as any other truck. That Anthony Crownover is the only one that's really going to be contending for that position at this point in time. And looking at the gap between Crownover and Greg Holt in third, it's a pretty substantial gap. So once the 04 truck gets by him, he could actually tuck in behind him, use that draft to his advantage on his fuel and tires respectively, and still keep Anthony Crownover behind him.
And that is another possible strategy. But that is the great thing about racing, is there are so many possibilities, so many strategies, so many variables that it gets crazy sometimes trying to keep up with how everything is going. But like you said, this right now, it is a 3-car battle, but only 2 of them are for position, being the 46 of Benoit, the 1 of Crownover. Greg Holt is further back in third, and further back yet is the 97 of Jeremy Coors, currently holding that 4th position. This right here is your biggest battle of the night, being the 97 of Coors holding that 4th position, getting a lot of pressure from the 99 of Dirty and the 92 of Converse, who we talked about Converse before. He's moved up to the 6th position, and right behind them is also the 22 of Rich Malagani. So this right here is one of the biggest battles in the closing laps that we have right now, with this spaced out as the drivers are, Kenny.
Yeah, these guys back here, they're putting on a clinic. They're still studying each other. They still got time to sit back, relax, and, I wouldn't say so much relax, but, mellow out for just a second, run where you are, and think about different possibilities. Are they running low? Will I have enough high side momentum to get around them? If they're running high, will my truck perform on the low line and get the positions to throw me up in the standings a little bit? So, at a big asphalt track like this, and as many laps as they have to go, they know it's not over, they know it's coming down, but they still have that little bit of time, and patience could play key.
And it very well could. Is back up front, the 04 of Porter and the 1 of Crownover have caught the 46 of Benoit. Now again, the 04 is not for position, but that is not stopping the 46 right now. Now, about a half a lap ago, the 46 of Benoit did use the 59 of Bradley Walters as draft a little bit to help out and to get ensure he stayed in front of the 04. But now with open track, does look like the 04 of Porter will get his lap back the hard way, as that will officially put the 04 back on the lead lap as long as he can complete that pass, in which it does look like he is going to. The bad thing is now he still has a whole nother lap to go around this track to even get back up to run and race for that top spot again. As it looks like the 46 is coming down pit road. So that right there answers that. The 46 is going to come down pit road. I don't know, Kenny, if the rest of the drivers are going to have to stop. I just don't know. With lap 57 was when I believe the 04 of Porter came in. You're talking that's right around that 40 to 42 lap mindset. they might be able to stretch it out. It's, I believe the 46 of Benoit is hoping that everybody else is going to have to pit as well. If so, that's going to put him in the same position he was just in and put him primed and ready for that possible victory. So we'll just have to see how this strategy plays out in just 20 short laps, Kenny.
Not only him, but the 00 of Tim Henderson and the 22 of Rich Maligani have made their way down pits, and JD Baker in the 78 truck is slowly making his way down pit road as well. So, this might have just shaken everything up, thinking that it's only going to be a one-stop race. This might have been a two-stop race this whole time.
And it very well could have been. Like I said, that's the crazy thing about strategy is you don't know how people are going to be able to save, what they're going to be able to save. So with this, as long as this stays green and as long as these other drivers are not going to be able to stretch it, those other drivers being Crownover and Holt, Coors, Dirty, and Converse, if they're not going to be able to stretch it out to the end of the race, then the 46 of Benoit might have just put himself in the best position possible to try to nab another victory this season.
Like I said, being a dirt driver, we don't get to see things like this, so it's really throwing me for a loop as we see Josh Benoit already tucked back behind that one truck of Anthony Crownover. So he could be, like you said, in a very key position to bring that W home.
And exactly. And like you said, dirt racing, you don't get to see this. You don't have to worry about pit strategy or anything else. You load enough fuel in the fuel cell to get you all the way through your heat, and then you load it up with enough to get you through your main. You don't have to worry about these long runs like this here in fuel the way that the paved drivers do. So this throws a whole new level in it when it comes to these drivers, and it makes it more difficult because these drivers are doing their own calculations. Some drivers do have somebody spotting for them or being a pit crew. Most of the drivers in the Fired Up Esports League here are not. They do their own calculations or they're talking with their team on it. They're driving and crew chiefing and, counting their fingers and toes or hitting up their calculator like Benoit trying to figure out gas mileage to see when they need to pit and when they don't need to pit. So, that adds a whole new level of difficulty into this when it comes to these drivers, but we're pushing 16 laps to go, Kenny, so it's going to be interesting to see if any of these other drivers are going to scream it down pit road to try to get a splash to make it to the end.
And it initially, just as I was defending Josh and I saw him come down pit road, I was like, well, he miscalculated. He's got to add, at least a half gallon of fuel or something. But to see a couple other trucks coming down, now I have no idea what to think. I have no idea what to do. I'm almost on the edge of my chair. It's thrown me for a massive loop, and it's just awesome. I have no other words for it. This is probably some of the coolest racing I've seen in a long time, and I have no idea where it's going to go from here.
And that is the joy of the racing here at the Fired Up Esports League is you don't know what to expect when it comes down to it. Pit strategy. It's so difficult to try to land that down and even try to figure out what is going to go on. But as it sits right now, as we have had a number of drivers come to the attention of their pit crews for green flag, a little bit of a truck in the wall there. Looks like that's the 85. Definitely scuffed the wall there, and that is the 85 of Jason D. Baker, scuffed it right in front of our leader, Anthony Crownover. But right now, the 1 of Crownover is leading it. The 3 of Greg Holt, who looks like he's trying to chase him down as much as possible, but he's about a corner behind him, but still holding that second place down. Jeremy Coors is in that 3rd position. You do have Brooks Dirting in 4th, and currently rounding out your top 5 is the 5 of Jeff Converse. On this one, Connor Hazel has found himself getting closer to cracking the top 5 again, as he is sitting 6th. Cody Porter is being scored in the 7th position. Now, again, Cody Porter had to work his way all the way back around and is trying to work his way back up. Now, the question is he's been running hard. So even if some of these drivers are trying to stretch it, how much fuel has he burnt trying to get to where he's at? And right now he's got a lot of pressure behind him from the 67 of Scott Martin, and Josh Benoit is in the 9th position working his way forward as we speak. And rounding out your top 10 is a 06 of Clayton White. So solid top 10 as we are working down to about ready to hit 12 laps to go in this Salute to Service 100, Kenny.
I was taking a look through it, with our green flag stops and everything else that's arisen throughout the race. The 06 truck of Clayton White in 10th will be our first truck, one lap down. And, if a late race caution were to happen, it puts Clayton in the absolute best position to still contend for even a top 5 finish. And, I'm pretty sure you said it was him. He is, usually right there at the right time, and this could be one of those races tonight.
And it very well could be. Like I said, there's been a number of things. This is typical when it comes to fuel. I don't know if it's trying to maybe knock the cobwebs out a little bit, but we usually have a couple cautions early in the race, and then it is long green flag runs, which is an amazing thing. I mean, it's a testament to the skill of the drivers out there and the respect they have for each other on the track. But at the same time, it throws a whole new level of complication and difficulty in there. As we see the 06 at Clayton White looked like he got a little closer to the wall. It was just a kiss, though, just a smooch. It still looks like he's running very, very well there, putting a little pressure on the 1 of Crownover. But as I was stating before that wall kiss it puts in a whole new level of complication in that with pit strategy and fuel mileage.
These guys, what they're doing, they are, absolutely incredible at it coming from a dirt world. I can't fathom trying to run this many possibilities through my head, making the pit stop, making the, what if a green flag, what if a yellow flag, what if, there's a number of possibilities that can come through these guys. At least with dirt, we've got how well is your throttle control? Can you maneuver this car around the track in the fastest way possible? We don't have to worry about our fuel mileage. We don't have to worry about, at least with iRacing, our tire wear. We don't even have to worry about tire heat, which in real life that plays a huge factor. I've absolutely burned a couple of right rear tires thinking I put the right compound on, and it turned around and bit me later. But these guys, they've got a lot going on even in a sim like this, and they are just absolutely pushing it. I think our last caution might have been like lap 12 or something, to go this long and not, have a break in between. It's not only a testament to their mental capacity, but it's a physical thing too.
And you're 100% correct on that. Now, to put it in perspective for those of you out there watching live or maybe watching this on a replay, what Kenny is talking about is what these drivers are doing right now is not only driving. In the real world, everything that they're doing would take probably 3 to 4 people that the actual race teams have. I mean, these guys are the driver. They are the crew chief, making changes and adjustments on the fly. They're calculating their fuel mileage. They're also looking around the car and adding a level to the spotter as well. So these guys are, they're essentially doing the job of what 4 real life individuals on a real race team would do. So it does take a certain mental capacity to be able to do that, and endurance on that matter to do it for, as we're looking at it right now, at 7 laps to go. And by the time they're done, they're going to be at 100 laps. So it is a very amazing thing that these drivers can do that and do it so accurately, Kenny.
I'm not even in this race, but just trying to make a small prediction about what's going to happen. It's already got me stressed out, and I'm slowly gaining a headache over it. And these guys are, like you said, they're in the truck, they're racing, they're working 4 different positions all at the same time. I can only imagine how these guys feel after they're done.
And it is a stressor, as it does look like we have another car peeling off down pit road. It does look like that is the 85 of Jason D. Baker. He is in the 11th position right now. He is going to come down pit road to the attention of his crew Right now, we are working 6 laps to go. So the question on everybody's mind is, do these cars from 5th place up, so that is Converse in 5th, Dirting in 4th, Coors in 3rd, Holt in 2nd, and Crown Over in 1st, do they have enough fuel to make it to the end? The first truck that has pitted under green flag for the second time is currently running in that 6th position, and that's that 46 of Josh Benoit, as he is currently trying to chase down a lot of these drivers, but he's about a half a track behind or so, to try to catch that up, Kenny. So about the only hope he has would be that these top 5 drivers are going to have to pit for gas or run out, one of the two.
I was looking at the distance between our leader and the second place truck. Greg Holt is slowly making his way right back up to the tail of Anthony Crownover, and in these remaining 4 or 5 laps, it is a very, very high chance that he will catch him. Whether or not he has enough time to actually make the pass, that's a whole different realm to be thinking about right now. But it's very possible that he could be right on the tail of Anthony Crownover for that last lap pass.
And he could be. Right now, the 97 of Jeremy Coors is in that second position as we have 4 laps to go. Coors now getting a lot of pressure from the 3 of Holt behind him, and just behind that Lego truck is the 99 of Dirting. Coors right now setting aside for that gentleman right up there, being Anthony Crownover, who is currently leading this race. With 4 laps to go, when Crownover crosses the line, it will be 3 laps remaining in tonight's Salute to Service 100. So in 3 short laps, we're going to have everything answered, Kenny.
I'm sitting here, I've got goosebumps. I'm thinking about what's going to happen, what could happen, and it is getting exciting. Does Crownover have the tires to hold off the
Now, I just heard something as we went on board with Crownover. He is clutching it in the corner, so that answers that on exactly how close these drivers are to making it to the end. They got 3 laps to go, and that one truck is clutching it on the entry there. Does look like we might have another truck that is out of gas going through 3 and 4. I believe, I don't know who that was. Looked like it possibly could have been the 85. But this is the story right now, and whether or not these drivers are going to make it or not. 2 laps to go as they cross the line. Right now, Anthony Crownover is holding that top spot, hoping that he can save enough. Creeping up on him right now is that 97 of Jeremy Coors, though. And right now, the person that is hoping that none of them make it because he knows he has enough is that 46 of Benoit, sitting in 6th position right now, about a third of a track behind everybody. And is the leader out of gas? It looks like Anthony Crownover might be out of gas. It is. Anthony Crownover has run out of gas with 2 laps to go. That is going to give the lead, relinquish it to the 97 of Jeremy Coors as he crosses the line for the final lap. White flag lap as they are going into it. We are going to end this under green. Who is going to take it? Jeremy Coors going through. You got Brooks Dirting back there. Are they going to have enough gas to make it? The question is, we've already seen one driver completely run out of gas and fall back. Is Coors going to have enough to get it done or not? He is still under power. You can hear that engine going. He does have the distance there. How close is it going to be? He's clutching it as well, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a close one, whether they can make it or not. This is going to be a fuel strategy race more than anything else. Off turn 4 does come the 97 of Jeremy Coors. Coors will cross the line, taking the win for the Salute to Service 100. Brooks Dirting will come off out of fuel, ladies and gentlemen, but will still cross the line in second. That is how close this has gotten. That was a fuel stretch beyond belief, Kenny, and it was an amazing thing. Jeff Converse looked like he's going to come back and try to take it for third. Converse crosses the line in third, barely making it on gas as well. Looks like Benoit will take fourth coming through. So again, stretching that fuel out. What a finish.
What a play. Oh my. I have no idea what to think about this right now. Converse had come around. I don't know if he was out of fuel or not. I didn't catch him, but I saw Josh Benoit on one massive run as he come around Greg Holton in number 3 truck. And, coming from 6th where he was, he knew he had a really good guess on what to do, and it paid off in the end with a 4th place overall finish.
That was an excellent rebound, especially for coming in during green flag pit stops. Right now, there is your winner. He is going to park it because, ladies and gentlemen, he has got no juice in the tank to do a burnout. That is how closely calculated and how much these drivers saved. I do believe our top 3, I do know that Coors was out of gas. I believe Dirting was out of gas. And I believe that Converse was either out or very darn close. You see the 67 of Scott Martin going up there, showing the congratulations as well. Look at that little bit of help, trying to get him back to pits from the 06 of Clayton White, trying to get him moved a little bit. So again, excellent job by these drivers, and you can't get it any closer than that. That is the first race that has come down to fuel mileage this season by the drivers here at the Fired Up Esports League. So again, one hell of a finish, one hell of a race, one hell of a way to show your respect and give thanks to the veterans out there. These drivers left it all out there, Kenny.
They absolutely did. They left literally nothing left to give. Top 3 out of fuel. Number 4 with a bold strategy. Just absolutely intense racing. And I was so happy to be here a part of it tonight. Absolutely.
An excellent thing to see. With that, though, we are going to head to the Sticker Cabana post-race podium show because we're going to get some of these boys on the in the booth here because, I'm dying to see exactly what the heck happened. So with that, we're going to sit here and hit that Sticker Cabana post-race podium show, and we're going to talk to some of these individuals. Overall, though, an amazing, amazing race tonight. Coming down to strategy, we knew it was going to be close. We knew it was going to be close, but I don't think we realized it was going to be that close. Heartbreak of the night. That number 1 of Anthony Crownover, he was saving fuel as much as what he possibly could. Just came up about a lap and a half, 2 laps short on that. Actually, a lap and a half because Coors passed him taking the white flag. So it's an unfortunate thing for Crownover. He had such a strong truck, but he'll rebound. He's usually always one that can come back and rebound and do it again. But I guarantee you, he's going to sit here and know what not to do and what to change when they hit this track again next season to make sure that he doesn't come up a lap and a half short. So again, heartbreak, tough break for Anthony Crownover. But buddy, I know you're out there watching. He said he clutched it for about 20 laps, just couldn't save enough. He goes, this one is a hard one to swallow. I was about ready to shout out to you, buddy. But you beat me to it because I know you're watching it. I know, buddy. It is a tough one to swallow, but I tell you what, you gave it a hell of a shot, man. And we can't deny you anything on the efforts and your skills and abilities tonight. So hang your head high on that one because you did a hell of a job either way. So, but with that, Kenny, I think it's time we need to pull in our top 3, starting with the number 92. I told you, keep an eye on Jeff Converse. If he can stay out of trouble, find himself in the right place at the right time, and not in the wrong place at the wrong time, then he's going to have a good finish. And Crownover, we got you again. You said, thanks, guys. Hey, no problem. Thank you, buddy, for doing what you do. We appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get the 92 of Jeff Converse in here and see what this gentleman has to say.
Hey, guys, what's going on? Good to hear from you again.
Absolutely. How are you doing tonight, buddy? What a show.
Another night where I had to jump in this Discord because I was not expecting this. We was not the fastest truck out there tonight, but I started thinking there might be a way to sneak something off here, and I was able to poke my nose back up there and get it in the draft and just did some fuel saving there at the end.
I tell you what, man, everybody was doing fuel saving. Kenny and I were up in the booth trying to guess what you crazy cats were doing. And, man, Jeremy and I should have learned long ago to stop trying to guess what you guys are doing because if we were shooting for shit, we wouldn't even catch a whiff. But you guys, I tell you what, you definitely surprised us on that one there. And I was talking to Kenny, said, listen, I said, Jeff has had some hard races early in the season, just been in the wrong place at the wrong time. But when you're in the right place at the right time, you're always a consistent driver. And I since, doing that, I do believe this is the second time we've interviewed you for Podium, correct?
Yeah, it was the other week after, what was it, Martinsville, I think? 2 weeks ago?
I do believe so, yes.
Because I was able to take last week off to go to your favorite metal band show.
Oh, man, that's right. You surprised the wife. How did that go?
It was awesome.
There you go. There you go.
Awesome show, and everything went well.
Good. Yeah, I totally forgot that you were going to surprise her with that. So I'm glad that worked out, and you get to you took last week off. You come back this week here, get a podium. So the question is on that one there. You were saving for a while there, trying to save enough. How much fuel did you have, or were you completely out when you crossed the line?
I ran out in 4. Turn 4 is when I was sputtering, and I was out by the time I hit the start-finish line. And I was trying to push Brooks as much as I could to keep him up there with the 97 because I knew those guys were all probably close on fuel as well. I ended up going from, I think, a gallon and a half to being able to make it.
I tell you what, man, it's amazing how you guys are able to do that, especially on such a big track at that. I know that we hit on board a couple times with a couple of the drivers, and we heard him clutching it, and we were actually on board with Anthony Crownover when he ran out of fuel coming to the white flag, it's a heartbreaker. But like I said, I mean, he drove a hell of a race either way. So that right there was the clue to Kenny and myself that this is going to come down to fuel. We already have one run out. What is going to happen? And to see the top 3 podium finishers pretty much all run out of fuel coming out of 4 to cross the start finish line was a crazy feat nonetheless. How was the racing out there altogether, though? I know we had a couple early cautions, but then it was just green flag and beautiful racing after that. I mean, how was it for you out there as a driver?
Oh, I enjoyed it. It became, more of a rhythm, getting your rhythm, try to stay with a pack of trucks so you don't lose the draft. I kind of fell out of the draft a couple of times and just kind of rode around and said, well, I'll just have to either wait for these guys that are coming to get tires, maybe pick them up, but then, of course, they're a lot faster. You just have to let them go. And somehow I just be able to work my way into a small group in a draft. And then I said, well, time to start saving fuel. But the guys that were up front most of the night were the fast trucks. I know a couple of the guys got caught up early. Like I said, I was just out there, again, just to have some fun. Had a good setup, just didn't have – it was probably more driver than setup because I could not figure out 1 and 2. I was losing everybody in 1 and 2, and I don't know why, but who knows?
1 and 2, it's it's very tricky trying to get a good entry in there to where you're not scrubbing off so much speed. But, I mean, if you think back to it, that group of trucks that you talked about catching up with, that was your podium group right there. That was your first, second, and third place because it was Coors, Dirting, and yourself that ran in that group for the longest time because we covered that because you guys were kind of racing and dicing it out while everybody else was kind of saving, or stretched out a little bit. So
yeah, I think those two were in a little bit more of a fuel saving mode, and that's why I was able to catch up to them because I was all out because I said I have to catch a pack of trucks if I'm going to finish this thing. And once I caught them, I switched to fuel saving mode, and then they were kind of taken off again because they knew they were good to go, and I had to totally back out. But it was fun. It worked out. I figured out either going to finish up front doing that or back, lap down.
Hey, that's racing. I mean, you got to gamble it. Yeah, you have to. We've seen pit strategies. We've seen, trying to stretch the fuel mileage, gamble, not work out for a couple drivers. We also seen trying to come in for that second pit stop, not work out for another driver. Benoit was able to come back and get that 4th place finish. But I mean, to his credit, he might be a little gun shy on the fuel mileage thing because it's bit him a couple times before. So, but overall, man, I mean, you ran a great race, clean race. And just like before, just like we said, man, when you do that, you find yourself in a damn good finishing position right where you're at. So again, excellent race, fantastic fuel saving that you did out there somehow to get yourself that 3rd place finish. Another excellent podium finish here for the Fired Up Esports League. But this is your moment. This is your time. Is there anybody you'd like to say thanks to out there? Anybody you'd like to shout out to?
Yeah, as always, got to thank the wife as putting up with me. Thank you guys for doing a good broadcast, and thanks to everybody back at Fuel for putting on the league. They always do a good job, but we've been kind of getting better group of guys together, or getting to know each other better every week, and it's a lot of fun racing out here. And I got guys that help us work on setups. Got to thank them. Inner teammates, kind of cross platform teams. So, yeah, just thank everybody, and glad you guys are here. Glad I get to talk to you guys once in a while.
Absolutely. Well, you know where to find us. Us nerds don't get too far from one Discord or another. So you're always more than welcome to hop in and have a little fun with us. But either way, man, congratulations. It was a fantastic run. You did an excellent job tonight, but we're going to let you go and kind of wind down a little bit after 100 laps here at Auto Club and enjoy your podium finish. We look forward to see what you can't pull out next week.
All right, guys. Take care.
You as well. That is your third place finisher for tonight's event. You heard it from himself. Out of fuel, coming out of turn 4, coming to the checkered flag, still able to pull in a third place finish. That is Jeff Converse. Excellent guy, super nice guy. Glad to see that his wife got surprised on those tickets. So it's always a wonderful thing. But up next, what we're going to do is we're going to pull in our second place finisher, another driver who ran out of gas coming to the checkered flag. Talking about none other than the 99 of Brooks Dirting. Kenny, why don't you go ahead and interview Mr. Dirting?
Just in case you didn't know, you were probably one of our biggest movers tonight, coming from 14th to finish second. An incredible 12 spots coming up through. How was your truck feeling for you tonight?
Well, it was pretty good. I knew from that first stop that we were going to have to save fuel, but right before the final stop, I passed Greg and it took off on me and I smacked the wall pretty good and it pretty much killed the truck. So from that point, I was just in conservation and save mode. So when I got behind Jeremy, I just knew, I was like, I'm just going to sit here and save. I actually let him run me back down by about 2 seconds just so I can get behind him so I could know I make the end of the race after I knew the truck was hurt.
And then with the green flag run that we've had tonight, we went, I believe, 80-some of these laps, all under green, just a couple of cautions early on. How did the truck feel as the race progressed throughout your pit stops and everything else?
Yeah, I did some testing this week on it, and I was real happy with what was going to happen with it. Had a good idea what was going to happen. I knew I gave up a little bit of short run speed to have the longer run, so I just got a bit patient while those guys ran real hard up front. And then by the time pit stops were coming around, I was starting to work my way back through them.
Dustin, I can't think of any other questions right off the top of my head. I know you're a man that you can usually come up with something. What have you got for him, buddy?
Oh, that's all right. I kind of threw you to the wolves on that one there. Sink or swim, right? That's what they always say. So, we appreciate Kenny Haight hopping in here and helping out, and he's been doing a fantastic job. But it feels like forever, Brooks, since we had a chance to sit down and talk with you. Nerditudes and Nerd TV had to take last week off to fix some stuff, and obviously it worked with the broadcast. And man, it feels like forever. But finding yourself in the podium yet again. Tell us about that fuel mileage that you guys were working, because it wasn't just you. I mean, a lot of the drivers stretched it, including the top 3 podium finishers right now. So, how did you stretch it as far as what you did to make sure that you cross that line?
I was doing about everything I could. I was clutching it. I was staying as close to Jeremy as possible. And when Jeff got behind me, I told him, I said, just stay right there, because he told me he was going to be short, and then I found out he was going to make it too. So I was like, we just need to stay tucked together as long as we can. And he started having to clutch it a little longer than I did. So I was able to pull back away from him. But other than that, we just lifted, let it coast as long as you could and roll right easy into the throttle on exit.
I tell you what, and that's what we were talking with Jeff earlier. I have no idea how you guys saved as much as what you did. I know one driver that was hoping you guys were going to run out way before turn 4 on the final lap, and that was Benoit. Finished 4th. But I tell you what, man, you guys proved that you can stretch it as far as what you possibly can. You guys did a fantastic job out there doing what you did. I tell you, what can we expect out of that 99 truck come next week?
Where are we next week? I'm not even sure.
That's why I was asking you.
I'm not sure. I'll have to look at the schedule. I think we got some good tracks coming up. We'll sit down and figure out something to build and see what we can do. Put them up front.
There you go. I tell you what, you're one of few multi-winners this season. I do know you're looking to try to put another tally mark in that column there, trying to catch Mr. Joe Causey, who could not make tonight's event. So it's an unfortunate thing. So people will be gaining points on him. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. But either way, man, you did a fantastic job. An excellent runner-up position. Fuel mileage battle down to the end, and still brought it home on the podium. Man, you can't ask for much more than that, because it could have ended a whole lot worse, but you did it in a fantastic fashion. So this is your moment, buddy. This is your time to give your thanks and to give your shout outs to whoever you feel you would like to, buddy.
I appreciate you guys, Nerditude, putting this on, and Fuel putting it on, and big thanks to Frontline and Performance Sim Sports helping me out when I need it. Hopefully we will be able to repay the future going going forward too. So, and a big thanks to my family for putting up with me all do this junk.
There you go. Family support and friend support is always a great thing. And I tell you what, it is, you guys do not lack thanking your friends and family, which is a fantastic thing. But you know what? We have taken enough of your time. I know that after a long race like that, you guys like to try to kind of wind down and simmer down a little bit, kind of talk. Go enjoy it with your friends, with your family, your crew. And we look forward to see exactly what you can do come next week, wherever that track is at, right?
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all's time.
All right, we appreciate it. That is your second place finisher, Brooks Dirting, crossing the line completely out of fuel, much like the third place finisher, Jeff Converse, completely out of fuel as well. So again, a crazy finish to that, all leading up and culminating to this one moment here that everybody has been waiting for, and that is to talk to the driver of the number 97, Mr. Jeremy Coors.
Hey guys, how's it going?
How you doing tonight, buddy? What a race that you guys put on. Fuel mileage down to the end. You guys had Kenny and myself guessing up here left and right, made us look like a bunch of fools trying to figure out what you guys were doing. But I tell you what, man, you guys put on a hell of a show all the way down to the wire.
Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, man. I knew, after that first caution and, we came in lap 20, it's a 100 lap race. I'm like, man, pushing at 40 laps here is difficult. It's difficult and you really can't maintain speed to do it. But I was like, we went, I think 30 or 25 laps on that first run after the caution. And, you may have noticed that I dropped way off the pace. Just dropped out of that lead pack. And I was like, man, if this thing stays green, I need to get to lap 60 at minimum if I want to make it a one-stop race. And so I just started saving right there. Somehow made it to lap 60. Just had to keep saving, man. I mean, I came out of the pits after that green flag pit stop, and from the very first full lap on a new set of tires, on that new set after that pit stop, I was saving from the very first corner.
That is crazy. Now, we did notice that you had fallen off, but that just goes to show how you drivers start planning way ahead. Kenny was talking about you guys are making his head spin, and not just because you guys are going around in circles, but with the amount of calculations and planning that you guys do. I mean, he comes up from the dirt ranks, doesn't have to worry about a lot of that stuff. So it's an amazing thing to know that you guys were planning and calculating, and you yourself all the way back since prior to lap 60, just trying to make it to that. But I tell you what, I mean, you had a rocket ship in the early stages anyway, so it wasn't like you won this just on fuel mileage alone. I mean, you had a fast truck from the drop of the green flag. Tell us how the truck felt out there.
Yeah, it was super, super fast, especially short run speed. I had good long run speed, not great. I'll be completely honest with you. I totally forgot we were going to Auto Club today. So I put together a setup today. Took me, I don't know, a couple hours. I put this setup together and it was fast, and I just didn't have the time to really tweak long run speed and get that down. There was no official races obviously here this week or anything to test it. And but yeah, short run speed, I mean, it was super fast. I felt like I could hang with anybody. And really could put the truck wherever I wanted. I could run high, I could run low. It felt really great. It did. From the initial green on, but yeah, I just had to drop off the pace there. I knew it was coming, and it just paid off. I've tried that a couple times. I've tried that a couple times this year, Dustin, and cautions keep coming out. These guys have been strategy killers, but I'm just glad it went green this time.
Hey, that's why you got to keep trying it. Every once in a while, I mean, a blind squirrel does find a nut. So, I mean, that's just the way it works. But I tell you what, I mean, it's an amazing thing that it was able to work the way it was. I mean, you know, there was a couple heartbreaks in tonight's event. Anthony Crownover just a lap and a quarter shy of taking it, trying to do the same fuel strategy and saving. Cody Porter, who was fast early on, had that pit entry violation and pit hold that he tried to fight back from from the get-go. So, I mean, there was bad stuff going on all the way around, and to see a pit strategy come through and work out that way, it was an amazing thing. So my next question is, do you think you can try to help out Josh Benoit a little bit and see if maybe you can't get him on the winning side of a pit strategy? I got to give him a hard time. I have to.
Hey, I don't know. I mean, I'd be happy to give him some pointers, but you know, maybe after the season ends. You know, if he really wants it. You know, I don't know. No, Josh was super fast tonight. All things aside, all jokes aside, Josh was super fast. Was worried about his speed, especially that middle run speed. He seemed to run us all down in that pack. Cody obviously is fast every week. Me and Cody had our battle at Kansas, and we seem to be battling each other quite a bit this season. So Cody was fast. It's a couple tough breaks, definitely. But yeah, I mean, with you know, when it was that long run, I mean, I had 40 laps to stare at Brooks and Converse in my mirror. So it was a little nerve wracking, man, because it's like I can save, but I don't want to get past either, because if these guys make it, then it's all for nothing.
Absolutely.
And so I was trying to balance the two. I was trying to change my lines up, trying to break the draft, just trying to get him to use more fuel. Honestly, I was trying to messing with him a little bit. Just trying to play some mind games, and it looks like they both made it. And, you know, so I don't know how much it worked or not, but it's that kind of stuff that makes the driver feel better, you know?
There you go. Yeah. But I either way, I mean, all jokes aside, I mean, Josh is just for fun. Like I said, man, you know, we got to give you a hard time, but he had a rocket ship as well. And it almost paid off for him. If it would have been a half a lap sooner, instead of you guys running out coming out of 4, if you guys would have been running out coming out of 2, he definitely would have been there to take it, and that strategy would have paid off. So
I mean, I know I didn't get to do a burnout today, but technically I didn't run out. I didn't run out at all. I ran out in my out lap in turn 2. So that I of all the 100 laps, that was the only time I ran out, was when it didn't count. So I didn't run it out. I managed it. I don't know. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, I guess.
There you go. Either way, though, I mean, you had a fast truck. You were up there with a lot of the names that we've already dropped. You guys swapped positions. I mean, you guys did an amazing job. Put on a hell of a show too, especially for what today is, being Veterans Day. So again, it was a good show for the Salute to Service 100. But this is your moment, your time to shine. I know you got some sponsors you want to give thanks to, and I know you got some people you want to shout out to, buddy. Floor is yours.
Absolutely. First and foremost, teammate tonight, Scott Martin from Martin Sports, along for the ride. Best sponsor in the business, man. Really, those guys, my first sponsor, hopefully my last sponsor. They're awesome, man. So shout out Martin Sports, martinsports906.com for those sim racing gloves. Obviously they work. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. McConey Setup Shop, of course, them as well. So shout out to those two. And shout out to Josh Benoit for almost making it on the pit strategy.
That poor guy's never going to hear the end of that one there, but he's definitely one of it that can take it though.
Listen, the jokes are going to be on me when he beats me next week or something. So
right.
That's how it goes right there. Yeah, all the jokes will be my way too. So no, shout out to all these guys, man. It was all the drivers out there today. Really, I mean, it was a really, really good race from start to finish, which has been good because we've had in this season we've had a couple races that have had multiple cautions and didn't get to do a whole lot of racing. So shout out to everyone who showed up today. and just racing the race that they did. There was a lot of give and take. There was a lot of hard racing, a lot of good racing, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, we thank you for showing up and participating as well and doing what you do best, man. And getting out there and racing and putting yourself in good position to take a victory again. So it's always a pleasure to interview you as always. But you know what? At this point in time, I know you're probably ready to try to relax a little bit, especially after 100 laps here and all the fuel strategy that you started planning, roughly around lap 30 of a 100 lap event.
Yeah.
So we're going to let you take your time and relax a little bit. But either way, again, congratulations on your first place win. Another victory for the season here at the Fired Up Esports League. Always a pleasure interviewing you, and we look forward to seeing what you can't do. Thank you, Spotter45. Does tell me that next week's race is at Dover. So you are aware, Jeremy, that it's at Dover. So
yeah, I got it this week. All
right.
Yep.
All right. So again, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing what you can't do again next week, buddy.
All right. Thanks.
That is your Salute to Service 100 race winner, Mr. Jeremy Coors. So again, we had stated it prior in pre-race for the pre-race show presented by Martin Sports, Kenny, that he's not a glove guy, but I'm telling you, he swears by those Martin Sports gloves, man. He swears by them, and the guy wins. It's crazy. Now I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he's winning because of the Martin Sports gloves, but I mean, he's winning and he's wearing Martin Sports gloves. So I mean, you guys kind of put 2 and 2 together. But either way. And that's why Kenny's going to be winning now too in the dirt, because he's got that Martin Sports hat. It makes him a little bit more aerodynamic. So it's all good. Yeah. So either way, though, I mean, overall, I know this is your first race that you called as far as paved. What's your overall thoughts, Kenny?
You know, I knew it was going to be good. I've heard a lot about these fuel guys, and I'll tell you what, for a first timer up here, they did not disappoint. They always had something going on. You know, even if some of it was just speculating and trying to figure out what was going to happen and turn around being proved wrong. These guys were absolutely incredible, and I was extremely happy to be up here tonight.
And it was a pleasure to have you up here as well. Like I said, I know a couple of times I've kind of thrown you to the wolves, but I only do that to individuals that I feel like are going to be able to swim and not sink. So, like I said, look forward to having you up here any other time that we have. It was excellent calling the race with you. And it's even better when we have races like that we can put on, and these drivers put on a hell of a show the way that they did. So, but on that, you heard the drivers give thanks and shout outs. We got to give our thanks and shout outs too. We do have a laundry list of sponsors that we have to, and I mean laundry list in the best way. I'm not saying it's like, oh, we got to talk about sponsors now. No, it's not like that. But we do have a list of sponsors that we want to give thanks. First and foremost, it had already been mentioned, which was Martin Sports. Again, Martin Sports, excellent apparel company. They call it the little company with big plans. Big products. That is true through and through. These guys make amazing, badass products, and not just apparel either. Sim racing. You heard it from Jeremy Coors himself. He swears by those gloves. I'm still waiting on my set. Not putting you on the spot or anything, Scott. But again, they make excellent products. Go and take a look at what they have in stock. They are an official sponsor of the Fired Up Esports League and the official apparel provider for Nerditudes and Nerd TV. So go take a look at the stock that they have and what options they have. That is martinsports906.com. Also want to give thanks to Sticker Cabana, the title sponsor for the Sticker Cabana Truck Series, the very series you just seen race here. It just goes to show that it doesn't always have to come down to crazy 3-wide racing. Sometimes it even comes down to that pit strategy. But either way, Sticker Cabana itself has a plethora of stickers, die-cut stickers that are out there. I don't have enough time in a single day to tell you about all the options they have for stickers. Literally thousands of options. But either way, go take a look at them, see what options they have, see what they have to offer. That is Sticker Cabana. Nature Med, one of the leading dispensaries in the Tucson area. Educate to medicate. See, I got it right that time. We want to thank Nature Med as well for everything they do and what services they offer. Some of us, in some way, shape, or form, are affected by some type of mental debilitation, or we know somebody that is affected by one. So it affects everybody in at least some way, shape, or form. And we all know that we do not like that. And it's not just mental either. It's also physical complications as well. So again, being able to medicate to alleviate that pain or some of the debilitations of PTSD or anxiety is always a great thing. Nerditudes and Nerd TV is a firm believer behind that and stands behind what Nature Med does. And we thank them for everything that they do. So again, if you want more information with that, again, that is Nature Med, one of the leading dispensaries in the Tucson area. And finally, Butt Kicker, official audio sponsor for Fired Up Esports League and Nerditudes and Nerd TV. Again, it's excellent addition to any sim racing rig that you have. It's essentially a D-box on there. We'll pick up a lot of the low frequency reverberations on there. So you will feel the rumble strips. You will feel your gear shifting, hitting your shifts, whether it's upshift, downshift. You will feel the engine revs. You will feel the scrapes on the walls. It will give you that level of realism on that. And it does help out, especially on the roadside, trying to run and race a lot of those when you're hitting the rumble strips and everything else. So again, excellent product, high quality on top of that, reasonably priced as well. And talking about price, if you use the Fired Up promo code, you will get an additional 20% off. So go take a look at Butt Kicker. That's thebuttkicker.com/AFF equals 33. That is the affiliate link for Fired Up Esports League. And on that, we have come to the end of the Sticker Cabana post-race podium show and the end of tonight's event. We are looking forward to Dover next week. Any final thoughts that you have, Kenny, before we close it out?
You know, as far as tonight, it was an absolute blast, and I appreciate you having me up here. Next week, like we heard, running at Dover. I may or may not toss my hat into that bucket and, see what I come out with. I might try to race with these guys. Worst case scenario, I'll end up here in the booth, and, even that's still just an absolute incredible spot to be, even just to watch these guys. And, we'll see where I end up. And, just an absolute blast overall.
There you go, and that's what we like to hear. If it's a blast for you in the booth, that means it was a blast for the people out there watching live or on replay. So for everybody behind the scenes here at Nerditudes, on behalf of myself, Dustin Ballistic Logston, on behalf of Kenny Stash Hate, we appreciate everybody tuning in and watching. We appreciate all the sponsors. We appreciate everybody tuning in on replay as well. Again, be sure you like, be sure you subscribe, be sure you follow, be sure you hit the bells, the whistles, just click anything. It doesn't matter. Give us some feedback on what we like. Thank you guys for the shout outs during the stream. We love giving shout outs to you guys and bringing you guys into the mix with the broadcast as well. Something a lot of broadcast companies don't do, but you're as much part of this as everybody else. So again, thank you guys for what you do and hanging out with us for this time. We will catch you guys next week at Dover. So until then, stay safe. Stay classy. We'll catch you at the next track.